New information tonight coming out in the last hour in the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk from yesterday. The new video shows the alleged suspect running across a roof of a building where he fired the bullet that killed Kirk. You can see him here, then climbing down from the building and then jumping off the building and then running off. Police say the suspect was wearing Converse shoes and a black T-shirt with an American flag and eagle on it.
We also continue to implore the public to support this investigation and come forward with any information. We are truly hopeful that this video and new photos will lead to even more tips.
Utah's governor said they've received about 7,000 tips and leads since. He says that's the most in digital tips the FBI has seen since the Boston Marathon bombing. Members of the University of Arkansas chapter of Turning Point USA gathered this afternoon to remember Kirk. 5 News reporter Laura Castleman was at that event today and joins us now in the studio with more on what happened today. Laura?
That's right. This evening at Chi Omega Theater, hundreds of people of all backgrounds gathered to pray and talk about Kirk's influence on their lives.
The whole reason why we started this chapter on our campus was to just have common debate.
Keanne McWilliams is the treasurer of the U of A chapter and the founder and president of the American Conservation Coalition on campus.
But the reason why we wanted to do this today was to once again stand in peace in public for free discussion and a sharing of ideas that's not put down by those who don't want it.
The ceremony included scripture reading along with remarks from a student and Turning Point USA.
I'm tired of living in a history book. Every single year there's some ridiculous event that continues to happen. We've lived through several political assassinations and the world keeps getting hotter.
We understand the free speech. We want everybody to feel safe and to be safe.
UAPD Assistant Chief Matt Mills says his department was at the event to make sure everyone was safe.
Whether they're politically motivated or any other type of event, because we are part of the community and we want to make sure that our officers understand that varying opinions and varying voices sometimes disagree, but in the end everybody is safe and that they get their messages across.
They may not be like-minded, and they may not even stand with what Turning Point represents, but that therein is the great thing that we like seeing all these students coming towards us for. This is the group of free discussion.
Since yesterday, Keanne says he's taken hundreds of calls from people asking to join the chapter.
I've been getting emails all morning. I got over 100 calls yesterday, and we did grow very quick. All of the students here today reflect that killing your political opposition is never acceptable. We are now at a point in our country where if you stand for free speech and trying to exchange free ideas, you will be killed for just simply wanting to talk.
McWilliams says this ceremony was not only to honor Kirk, but to also call to stand up against political violence. Laura Castleman, 5 News.
All right, Laura, thanks. 5 News spoke with investigative and security experts today about what stands out in this case. Bruce Tully is a former diplomatic security service member who spent his life protecting every president from Nixon to George W. Bush. He talked about the recovered weapon. Tully says a lot can be deciphered from it.
Knew what he was doing. A bolt action rifle, as it turned out, is exactly what I thought when I heard it. Someone who practices, has a level of expertise, whether it be target shooting, prior military, police force, who knows? But that's unfortunately good shooting.
Governor of Utah also announced the state will be pursuing the death penalty in this case. Meanwhile, back home, a Fort Smith man has pled not guilty to stabbing and killing his husband with screwdrivers in Crawford County. Investigators say they responded to a wooded area outside of Van Buren last month and found Kevin Witt dead near a campsite. 2 Phillips head screwdrivers were also found at the scene. Police later arrested Kevin's husband, Gregory Witt, and charged him with murder. Gregory is being held in the Crawford County Detention Center on a $1 million bond. Around Arkansas, an inmate shot while trying to escape the prison at the Varner Supermax unit. The Department of Corrections says the officer shot at the inmate twice. He is being treated at a hospital. Both the DOC and state police are now investigating. No new information at this time on the condition of the inmate or the officer in the incident. Today at the Arkansas State Capitol, State Senator Gary Stubblefield lied in state on the second floor rotunda. He died last Tuesday at the age of 74. He represented District 26 since 2013, which includes parts of Franklin, Logan, Johnson, and Sebastian counties. He also served a term in the state house before being elected to the Senate. His funeral, by the way, set for Saturday at the Charleston High School gymnasium. We've also been following news about the so-called kissing bug that's been spotted in Arkansas and how one bite could be extremely dangerous. Agriculture and life sciences researchers at Texas A&M say kissing bugs can live up to 2 years. They originate from the tropics and are drawn to heat. Most are active overnight. They grow to only the size of a penny, and for a creature so small, it can cause a big problem.
1 in 3 will have long-term symptoms. In other words, heart damage, enlarged heart, enlarged esophagus. So
Dr. Ford says while the general public should not panic, the most at risk include people without adequate housing and campers who sleep outside. Yesterday, the England, Arkansas School District posted on Facebook the game against Mayflower for tomorrow has been canceled because of a forfeit. That announcement comes after a series of incidents at a game last week that led to numerous suspensions and injuries. But what happens with students and athletes in schools when incidents happen during or after a game? Catherine Rowley talked with the Arkansas Activities Association to find out.
You know, we've had nearly 50 ejections in the first 2 weeks of the high school football season here in Arkansas. That number's way too big.
Bobby Swafford is the Assistant Executive Director of the Arkansas Activities Association, or AAA. He explained to me that once there's an altercation at a game and reports come in, AAA will start to look at the film to determine what kind of punishment for those involved would be.
And we'll go through and kind of pick out, you know, any individuals that may or may not have been involved in that incident and work with both schools as far as what punishments are necessary to hand out from that altercation.
From there, depending on when the player is ejected and their actions, they could be facing a suspension of 4 quarters. And after completing a sportsmanship class, they can be reinstated. Even after the clock runs out, there's still a sportsmanship expectation.
The sportsmanship runs through the handshake line. And so if an altercation happens in a handshake line, and we've already seen that happen this year at a couple different games, if that happens, the school administration will work with us as well. But those punishments could be quite severe, or maybe even more harsh, because it didn't happen in the heat of the battle, if you will.
At AAA, there is a zero tolerance for any type of physical altercation. And with AAA having education-based athletics, Swafford also explained that all of the protocols associated with altercations have been communicated. But to help enforce sportsmanship and prevent fights, that falls on coaches and others associated with high school athletic teams.
We have protocols that have been communicated to every school in our membership. And so those coaches have to make sure that their players stay on the sideline, because if they leave the sideline and go towards an altercation, that's escalating the altercation, and it's sometimes almost as bad as the people who are involved directly with that fight or incident.
The city of Fayetteville is asking residents now for input on its long-term plan for downtown. The city says the plan will, quote, guide the future of development, public spaces, transportation, and community life in downtown. That plan is being dubbed Reimagine Downtown. You can submit feedback online or at the Development Services Lobby or City Hall. Fayetteville Public Schools looks to move forward with its future plans for the school district. The district now continuing with its focus on the future 2026 vision. The district plans to build 2 new junior highs, Woodland and Ramey. They also plan to convert Colbert Middle School into a junior high. The other part of the vision is a new feeder pattern that will go into effect in a couple of years. Fayetteville School Superintendent John Mulford says that new pattern will keep groups of students together for a longer period of time and prevent parents from driving across town to get their kids to class.
And as a third added bonus with this feeder pattern that our board was very excited about was our ability to balance our demographics once they hit the middle school level. So now, no matter what middle school or junior high a student attends in our district, they will have a very similar experience.
The new Woodland Junior High expected to open in 2027. The new Ramey Junior High expected to break ground sometime next spring.